Hello and welcome back to, at this point, Dan, we just need to rename it the Late Night Filler, don't we?
It's just move over, James Corden. This is the Late Late Show.
It
How are you,
really
my friend?
is. I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you? How's things?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. All well. I'm very excited. Looking forward to the return of club football. It's the international break is sort of coming to a close, and it's what, when the football gets going in the international break, it's not bad. It's just the days at the start and at the end where you've got 3 or 4 days where nothing really happens, and all the players are travelling either to or from, and it's just that wait for either the games to start or club football to return. We're just in this void. And it makes me realize. It makes me realize, how did we ever do it in lockdown? We went without football
Yeah.
for like 4 months. It's like you go a matter of days, and we've just got so used to a frantic schedule that feels almost alien to go sort of 72 hours without a game.
It's too long.
Mate, willing on Saturdays 3:00.
You guys would have seen the title, Darwin Nunes. Who is he? I don't expect anyone to know who he is. I don't expect many people to have seen too much about him or know a whole great deal about him. But, that's why we're here, isn't it, mate? We are here to brief people on Benfica's latest star boy. It's an interesting one because, it's only a few hours have only really passed, Dan, since we were sort of talking about how much, we felt like Ollie Watkins, getting his goal, how great that's going to be, him coming back to Villa on cloud 9 after being away with England. And now we're talking about a completely different number 9 who's having a somewhat coming of age season, I think I want to say. Darwin Nunes of Benfica, of course, one of the highest prospects coming out of Uruguay. And, to be fair, he's been one of the surprise packages of the Champions League as well so far this season, which again is quite exciting to say that we're talking about a young prospect who's already scored 4 Champions League goals and 8 appearances this season and put Ajax to the sword only a few weeks ago. It almost seems as if it's too good to be true, Dan, but we had to come on because it's when a transfer rumour comes up, you guys know we have to inform you, we have to cover you. But this is a really interesting one, mate, because it almost feels like it's not. Well, it's definitely not the Uruguayan striker that we were talking about a few weeks ago, is it, mate?
Well, that actually leads me perfectly onto the first point, mate, is that there is a changing of the guard, certainly. The Cavani and Suarez partnership that has long dominated that sort of front two for leading the attack for the Uruguay national team for as long as I can remember, finally feels like it's in its twilight years. And look, don't get me wrong, it was only last night, sort of today, in fact, if you're being technical with the times, that Luis Suarez scored for Uruguay in their win over Chile. So don't worry, they're not going anywhere too soon. But Darwin Nunes is the guy that you can expect to be leading that line for some time to come. He's actually been preferred to Edinson Cavani in sort of recent weeks, pairing up front with Suarez. And mate, it's easy to see why he's been sensational this season. 26 goals in all competitions from just 33 games, 4 in 8 in the Champions League. So you're looking at a goal every other game in the Champions League, and then in the Primera Liga. 20 in 22. It's absolutely scintillating stuff, mate. He's only 22 years old. He can seemingly do it all. This boy is going right to the top, and I think it's fair to say, mate, if we get even anywhere close to signing him, it would be one hell of a statement of intent.
It really would. And what I like about this guy, and I think I first sort of took notice of him, as I say, in the Champions League, mate, because it's not like we get too much Premier League. I know it's sometimes on Free Sport over in the UK. Is the size and the physicality. He's just shy of 6'2", weighing in at about 80 kilos. And you watch him and you very much get the feeling that he is a seasoned pro. Like he's been around the block, he's done it, he knows exactly where to be, he knows how to score goals, and the way he carries himself physically is something that really as I say, I could have sworn this guy was at least 27 years old when I first watched him, and is one that just somehow slipped completely under the radar. And he's having a fantastic season, mate. He really is. As you say, all them goals there. Unfortunately, there's no XG statistics for the Premier League, which is frustrating. But of the 4 goals he scored in the Champions League, he scored that from an XG of 2.3. It's remarkable. I think one of them is a penalty, but still, it's difficult to score penalties. We've never scored a professional penalty, mate. So who are we to scoff at that?
No, absolutely.
But also, it's the variety of goals, and I would implore anyone. Usually, I think the last player that I watched a highlights reel for, who I didn't like, went in completely blank, didn't know at all what we were getting, and thought we were genuinely getting the second coming of Messi, was Carles Hill. Because I had no clue, and you watch the clips and you're like, fuck me, this guy is good. So I try to stay away from that and judge the eye test from games that I've seen. But I would implore people to go and check out Darwin Nunez's highlights reel, because scoring goals is his gambit. And that is exactly what his highlight reel are. He's scoring headers. He's scoring goals from outside the box. He's scoring tap-ins. He's roughing up centre halves. And as I say, mate, leading the line with a maturity that is way beyond his years.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, mate. It's the variety of goals that I think you've hit it on the head there. And I think you're not going to get him for, I think when you look at the Bruno transfer, where he's left Sporting Lisbon for Manchester United, it was a very high transfer fee for the Premier League sort of at that time. It was at 67 million euros, 67 million pounds. So it was up to about 80 million euros. And I think that really sort of has sparked, and rightly so, it sort of lit a light bulb in the Premier League, because it used to be a bit of a bargain basement plates to go and get your new talents. It was, you could sort of dive in there and get them at a cut price fee. But it's a league that's really come on in leaps and bounds. I think it actually rivals Ligue 1 for quality at this point. I think if you're talking the top 5 leagues in Europe, you can probably make a case to put the Portuguese league into that 5th spot ahead of the Ligue 1 in terms of sort of the average quality. I mean, Villa are looking to do some dealings in the Premier League this summer with not on a player front, on a club front. These rumours that we're looking at purchasing Vitória Guimarães keep rumbling on. So, we'll be definitely diving into Portugal for one reason or another. If we're going to come up with Darwin Nunez, it looks like we are going to have to cover about £68 million, which would certainly break the bank. But these are the prices that you have to pay, mate. There aren't too many top level. It seems that in the world right now, genuine goal-getting strikers and proper number 6s are quite rare at the top level. Is that you can only really name sort of 5 or 10 sort of across the world that you reasonably think are available for purchase and can do the business. It's a very difficult market to shop in those 2 positions. And guess what? The 2 positions Villa like they're going to need to strengthen in the summer are, mate. Yep, you guessed it. Yeah. It's striker and a number 6. So we are going to have to cough up the big bucks at some point.
That's the thing, mate. That's the thing. It's reported he's got a £100 million release clause. I was a bit hesitant about this, mate. I can't lie, because he's even been linked with the likes of Brighton, which is a completely other story, and I'll tell you a bit more about that off air, mate. Which made me laugh when I saw this guy's name being linked to Villa. There is that risk. There is that risk, mate, because you have to caveat it with it is the Premier League. He is only 22 years old, not proven in the Premier League, all that kind of stuff. But you don't get a £100 million release clause and a £68 million valuation without being this good. And I think ultimately, if you're going to bring in this one guy, either one or 2 of Ings and Watkins could both potentially be going in the summer. It's funny, I've been seeing a lot of tweets recently, mate, about sort of people's Villa squads, who they'd sign and stuff like that. and it's not that I'm scoffing at, because we have these discussions all the time, mate. That it's completely normal to dream of players and to want to sign them. But some of the valuations that some people are putting on Villa players to sell, we're apparently raising £100 million from selling El Ghazi and Sanson, mate. Do you know what I mean? These are guys who we absolutely categorically, that's not us, but Villa fans as a whole maybe do not rate. But of course, we're going to get £100 million because that's how fucking FIFA career mode works, which is just absolutely ridiculous. And it almost, without risk of wanting to sound silly and sticking my neck out there, mate, Nunes feels like a guy that we absolutely have to be trying our very hardest to sign. This is the market that we have to find ourselves in. Okay, not proven in the Premier League, but he's scoring in the Champions League, the highest level you can be for club level. Like 4 goals in 8 games, mate. Like, when we're talking like goals for the whole season as well, you're only looking at a select handful of players like your Lewandowskis, your Benzemas, your Sebastian Allers, who have scored more goals than him, which is crazy.
Oh, 100%, mate. 100%. It's like, I think there is that sort of proven in the Premier League thing, which, you're absolutely right in saying you've got to take that with a pinch of salt, mate, because, you only look back to September. This guy scored 2 goals in a 3-0 Benfica victory over Barcelona. You know what? I'm fairly sure if you can do it against Barcelona, you can do it at Vicarage Road. I don't think he's going to have too many problems there. He's scoring, like winning goals away to Ajax in the Champions League quarterfinals. This guy's done it on 2 different continents. He scored all these goals, and he actually missed the first couple of months of the season because he had surgery on a knee injury. So, he's bagged all these goals and he's doing it on less time than he could possibly have had. He's now going away and scoring on international duty. He was in the Uruguay squad for the Copa America. Was going to be, but until said knee injury kept him out. So, this guy is doing it on a lot of different fronts. I think, I do think he's going to move away. He does feel, he's not been at Benfica for too long. He only joined in 2020, so he's only 1.5 seasons into his Benfica spell, and before that, he was playing in the 2nd division of Spain. So, this is going to feel like a decent step up for him. It's not like, he's getting to a point where he's come through at Benfica and he's now looking for a move away. This could be a platform which, he's currently developing very nicely on. We're starting to see some players sort of see the benefit of biding their time just a little bit and sort of keep performing at that platform and making sure you don't jump the gun, which I think has been the downfall of some players. And so I think, it's not one where I think he's going to be desperate to move. This won't be a transfer that's acted upon because he's looking for a way out of Benfica. Apparently he's going to be signing with Jorge Mendes in the summer. His contract with his own agent runs up in July. And it looks like it will be Jorge Mendes, as he does for these talents playing out in Portugal, that will pick him up. So maybe that will lend to a transfer. But yeah, mate, you're absolutely right. It's very interesting to see how this goes. The worst thing is he's born in 1999, which is after me. I was 1988. It's so disgusting because he's like 22. So I'm not even talking about 17-year-olds, and they're older than me. But yeah, mate. Yeah, I'm yet to see someone come and break my heart without even joining. And I think if I get myself too excited about Darwin Nunes, that would be exactly what happens.
Absolutely. And, you've got 90 Min reporting that United, West Ham, Newcastle, Spurs, Arsenal, they're all interested. Ultimately, there's only one place where he's going to go. I mean, it feels way too premature for a Manchester United. I don't see them taking a risk on a player like this. That hasn't been their transfer policy for the longest time. But of course, you've got the Cavani and Uruguay links that are there to be seen. It just feels like we need to get this done, mate. And I think Villa will have to spend big in the summer. And I think we're only going to spend big on one player, whether that is Darwin or Calvin Phillips. Obviously, that is something that we do not know, mate. But I think, arguably you add them two into this current Villa side, and God, it's frightening thinking what we would be capable of, mate. It's so exciting. And we know that Nassef and Wes, I just tried to mix the two names there.
That's a celebrity couple nickname, is it, mate?
Yeah, we'll stand them with Seth. Oh, God. Yeah, we know that Nassef and Wes tried to sort of get in the pocket of Jorge Mendes when we were first in the Championship, mate. And we only had the one deal done with Anwar. But it's something that we have looked at exploring.
Are you forgetting Andre Moreira?
Oh my God!
You can't forget that transfer, mate. What a legend! That
Goalkeepers Union,
Yeovil. Yep, there you go. Yeah,
remember that, mate? Oh my God,
Andre Moreira. There you go. So there was two actually.
Oh my God! Do you know what? That predates the podcast, or at least the podcast in the format it is now. Because I'm pretty sure I recorded that video, sat on my sofa at my parents' house before we both went to America. So that's like before we're taking this like proper serious, mate. Andre Moreira. Wow.
Yep, there you go. I mean, so Jorge Mendes. I'll give him 1 out of 2. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on Anwar, but yeah, Andre Moreira, that was a miss, unfortunately.
If we could make that 2 for 3, mate, I don't think we could complain with Darwin, can we?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, I think that's, as you said, 60%. That's not bad. But, 22, 23, Cameron Archer and Darwin Nunez up front. Bring it on.
Frightening, mate. It's frightening, isn't it? Louis Barry just in behind.
I'm ready.
It's good to see the youth doing bits. But, yeah, guys, that's the lowdown on Darwin Nunez. I don't expect us to sign him. Because there is such stiff competition, but I think it's interesting. The words that have been used in the report are in contact, and again, that brings up another point, mate, that you made the other day. Like, is this not tapping up like Deco and Rafinha and Barca?
Yeah,
does that not exist anymore? Like, it's illegal.
I would also like to know what it means. In contact. Like what, like you sort of think about it, you're like, oh, that's promising. But like, what is it? Stevie's just texted him like, all right, Darwin, I'm here. Just if you ever need me, if you ever need me, I'm just.
You know what it is?
Remember,
it's replying to a bird's story with the fire emoji or the eyes emoji on Instagram, in it. That's what it is.
This is one of those little follow requests. There you go.
Just a little
Stevie's in town. The tricky villains. Here we go.
We're back, baby. We're back. But no, if we get this done, mate, we mean serious business. And guys,
yes.
we'd love to know your thoughts. Let us know in the comment section down below. If you want to get this deal done, if we actually have any Portuguese fans of the podcast listening, let us know. Yeah. We know I think we actually have like a handful of Brazilians that even outdate Coutinho, if I'm remembering correctly. Ayrton.
No, I think you're right, mate. Some guys down in Rio that have been listening for the longest time.
Yeah, so I mean, you guys speak Portuguese. Maybe there's something there. Maybe there's not. But I mean, well, again, if you're from Brazil, maybe you know what's going on in Uruguay. So give us the lowdown.
It's closer than us.
Yeah, it's much closer than us, mate. Yeah. So if you guys know anything more about him, please let us know in the comments. Because I think it's safe to say, mate, we are quietly excited about this one. But we're trying not to let ourselves get carried away too much. And yeah, subscribe if you haven't. Journey to 6K before the end of the season. 9 games left. If we can do like 120 subs per podcast per game, we're there. And I know there's about 55% of you who'll be watching this who aren't subscribed. What are you doing? Subscribe. It's free. It helps us out. You guys will never miss a podcast, and you'll always stay up to date with the latest and greatest Aston Villa news. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and up the Villa.